he'd been in a world where he was treated with the greatest respect and regard as a world-class athlete.
Rhoda Roberts' play, My Cousin Frank, is a love letter to her country, the northern rivers of New South Wales, the custodial lands of the Wia-bal peoples, and birthplace of Australia's very own Rocky.
For Lismore to be proudly home to the first Aboriginal Olympian is pretty special. It's a good yarn, it's got highs and lows, but it is our Rocky story. It's a young man against all odds to end up at an Olympic Games from a shanty town that a lot of Australians don't know the history of what's happened since occupation, particularly in rural regional areas. So I hope that it brings all that with a little bit of humour as well.
What got you thinking about your cousin?
I think there's a lot of stories that are untold, and often they're told amongst community. People either think you're exaggerating or it might not really be true. It's not written in the history books.
And I vow to uphold the obligations of the Wia-bal.
Rhoda was inspired by her uncle, watching him perform the welcoming protocol at Nimbin's Aquarius Festival.
My uncle, Rhoda Roberts Jr., offered to sing that country for this festival. And so to me, that was the first welcome. Makes people feel special. It's a bit like if I'm going to turn up at your house, I'm going to bring a good bottle of Shiraz and a bunch of flowers. It's good manners.
In 1997, Rhoda took on a critical role leading up to the Sydney Olympics as the artistic director of the Festival of the Dreaming.
I thought, what are we going to do? Do we let others do it, or do we actually show how we host people? And I'm going, well, we have to give it a name. And we're coming up with all these language names. And I go, no, everyone will hate it because it sounds Aboriginal. And I went, we're welcoming people to country. And then everyone kept trying to correct it, go, welcome to the country or our country. And I said, it's not ours. We live with it. So that's how it became Welcome to Country.
The ceremony has transformed into Calling Country, heard every New Year's Eve on Sydney Harbour.
I drew on a number of cultures around the world, but specifically Aboriginal culture because I happen to be a black fella.
Rhoda Roberts has spent much of her career giving First Nations performers and creatives a platform at numerous festivals and events.
I might have some ideas, but I can tell you when I'm doing Parchama, some of those old people look at me and go, what? And I go, oh, you know, we're going to do a big 8-metre thing of your painting, and they just think I'm crazy. And then they see it. And I think that's the creative achievement that is so important because it belongs to their family and it's their birthright.
How has your creativity grown and changed over the years so that very soon you will be performing your show here? What about you, Rhoda?
I'm just a girl from Lismore. I don't know, you actually made me think. When we think of the way we are as nations and language groups across the country, and all our nations have varying dialects, we know that we have to follow those trade routes, those song lines, because we might not have that resource or we might not have that food source during a particular season. So we have to share and we have to acknowledge. And we've always done that. I think it's really important. Julie, I have been so blessed. I have people across the country, our senior boss men and women, who culturally trust me with their stories. They trust me with their art. That's pretty huge. And I get to work with that every day.